Hi, this is Dr. Pachenik, and it's before Christmas time, and guess what? Our President Trump once again gave America a very special Christmas treat. We're pulling out 2,000 troops, American troops, from northern Syria, as well as southern Syria. Why? Because he said we don't need to be there. And furthermore, why should we pay the billions of dollars when in fact it's the requirement of the countries that are in that area that should be maintaining the peace? Iran, Syria, Russia, France, and Israel. So what has he really done? Most people find that that's inappropriate. Many of the senators in the State Department said, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. The answer is no. As many of you know, I went to Syria before the war. I explained to MI and G2 and others involved in national security. I was interrogated by the Syrians, and I found out very clearly that the Syrians were not interested in the war. They were not interested in occupation by the Saudis, and they were not interested in having Homs and Hama, the two cities that were Sunni, taking over Damascus. Nevertheless, thanks to the obstinacy of the Obama administration and Hillary, the Secretary of State, and Brennan, the CIA, they went in and tried to overthrow Bashar Assad. I warned everyone, don't do that. I know Bashar Assad. He is diplomat of the Ophthalmological Society. He is smart. He is tough. His wife is an investment banker. And more importantly, I worked with his father, who was even tougher. So no one is going to depose Bashar Assad. More importantly, Trump understood that number one, the business of foreign policy is business. And what did he do? He said to Erdogan, guess what? I'm going to get out of Syria, but in return for which you're going to give me $14 billion worth of dollars in order to buy our military equipment so that we can leave and I can get something out of it. In the same way he said to Saudi Arabia, you know what? I'm not going to negate your efforts and I'm not going to go after Mohammed bin Salman, but in turn, you're going to pay $140 billion for all the equipment that you need from our military. So what happened? In effect, Trump has said the following. You, Erdogan, will be the number one Sunni nation of the Middle East. As I had predicted 20 years ago, Turkey has always been the Sunni nation. Number two, he said Iran will be the predominant Shiite power in the Middle East. Despite John Bolton's protestations, Iran will nevertheless be the predominant Shiite power. Why? Because Turkey has a very close relationship with Iran and can modulate its behavior. And more importantly, Syria will have its own country, and that will be guaranteed by who else? But our very good friend Vladimir Putin. Contrary to all of the hoopla that came in this past 3 weeks, Vladimir Putin has been a very loyal ally to the United States and to our interests in the Middle East. In fact, they took over our interests and will guarantee the peace between Turkey, Iran, Syria, Israel, and it will be Russia. And in turn, Russia doesn't have to ship its S-400 intercontinental ballistic missiles, and instead we will be providing them, the countries, with military equipment from America. So what does this all mean? This means that finally Trump is saying what he said a long time ago. We don't need to be overseas. We don't have to waste billions of dollars. And by the way, America, this is my Christmas present to you, to bring our boys back home. And we're going to go back home from Afghanistan. We're going to go back home from Iraq. And we're going to shift our interest and our concerns to the Far East, where CINCPAC, with 250,000 our men, are positioned in such a way that the South China Sea can be still controlled by the United States without getting into conflict with President Xi. So let me remind you of the following. A friend of mine who I worked with at the State Department and had become Deputy Secretary of State, Lawrence Eagleburger, once said, the business of foreign policy is business. Thank you, good luck, good night, and Merry Christmas.